This is the Mazda 6 first generation Mazda Speed 5-door hatchback. Hello everyone, I'm Celsius. Nice to meet you here again. Today I would like to talk to you with the first generation Mazda 6 with this Mazda Speed Mazda 6 hatchback. How about this car looks like? I will always say handsome, awesome. This car is very handsome, as well as it's presented in 2001 at the very first. I love this car because it's too handsome. Come on, I never see any car just as handsome as this car. No matter after 20 years, I still think this is the most handsome car that I ever met before. This car is the very important car for the Mazda for 21st century because the Mazda get very big crisis at the late 1990s. Mazda want to get a brand new car to return the big financial crisis of the selling of all the brand. So at the very first, they want to rename this item. Okay. Why it called Mazda 6? Because they want to give the customer an all-new image for the Mazda. Actually, the Mazda 6 is the successor for the Mazda 626. Somebody may call it Mazda Capella. Yeah, the 626 in Japan is called Mazda Capella. But actually, the official Mazda said the Mazda 6 is not a successor for the 626 Capella. It is the all-new car. I don't believe it. Because I think, okay, maybe they got different man in Japan market. The Mazda 6 in Japan was called Mazda Atenza. Certainly now it's also called Mazda 6, Mazda 3, no matter in Japan or outside of Japan, but that is maybe just before 4 years ago. At the very first, Mazda 6 called Mazda Atenza, and the second generation also called Mazda Atenza, and third generation as well. But the Mazdas think they should get a brand new image in the 21st century. So at the very first, they give up the name for the Mazda 626 and Mazda 323. So you can see, at the 2004, we got the first generation of the Mazda 3, replace of the Mazda 323. Well, the second change is about the logo. Actually, the logo didn't born with the Mazda 6 together. The Mazda logo was different design in 1990s, but at the late 1990s, Mazda officially revealed the all-new design for the latest Mazda logo, and it's still used till now. Actually, I like this logo because this logo is easy to understand. It's just a circle and with a wing. Okay, the car could fly high. I think that's they want you think about of this brand. And there's another different trying at the slogan. Did you ever see the Mazda zoom zoom? This slogan? Yes. This slogan comes in 21st century, and the Mazda think people should remember when they are very young, when they are kids, they got a small car at the bed, at the ground, and they got a such like this sound called a zoom zoom. So at the very first, at the 21st century, the Mazda, every Mazda advertisement, especially the TVCM, got the Mazda zoom zoom Mazda. They want to rebuild the different image for this car to the worldwide. So this car didn't get named Mazda 626. It's called Mazda 6. And actually, the Mazda 6 got another advantage for the initial. For example, what car you drive by? Oh, I drive M6. Oh, it's heard like BMW M6? No, it's Mazda 6. That's the same joke at Mazda 3. What your car what's your brand new car? I bought an N3. Whoa, a BMW N3. No, a Mazda 3. Okay, that's very interesting. Certainly, the Mazda 6 is the very first Mazda new name car in the 21st century. And later we got a Mazda 3. And later we got a Mazda 5, which was the Mazda Primacy. And even the Mazda MPV called Mazda 8. You may wonder if there any Mazda 9 or Mazda 7. Actually, there was the plan to build a Mazda 9, but actually the Millennia was not sold well, so there's no actually Mazda 9. But there's Mazda 2. Mazda 2 was the Demio, or maybe the 121 called Mazda 2, and at the future. And still now, we still got the Mazda 2, but not sold in some markets such as Taiwan. Okay, let's turn back to the Mazda 6. The Mazda 6 got the all new name for this car and got a very awesome, very handsome exterior. So when it comes to the market in Taiwan at the very first, it got a very, very good in the selling figure. Okay, this car is import car in Taiwan since very first till now. But it got a very cheap price at the very first in the first generation. You can buy this import car just as cheap as the domestic made car. That's very surprising. At the very first, this car, the price for this car in Taiwan at very first is around 0.8 million Taiwan dollars, less than 0.8 million Taiwan dollars. Very cheap, just the same as the Camry, the same as the Nissan Safiro built in Taiwan. So this is import car and got a very handsome exterior and the interior as well. So this car got very, very popular at very first. I remember 20 years ago when my friend bought this car, they will show off to everybody. Come on, I bought a Mazda 6. Come on, come to look at it. Okay, it's awesome. It is very handsome, right? And we are very angry. God damn. Okay, you bought a very handsome car. Okay, that's bad friend. Okay. And this car got a minor change in 2005. They got a little bit different change at the headlamp and the tail lamps, which will get smoke headlamp and tail lamps. And we got a different doorknob and different dashboard, different seats at the interior. And there's still some different at the engine. The very first, this 2.3 engine got 141 brake horsepower. And after the minor change, it got 147 brake horsepower. And the transmission box is still got a little bit of change. At the very first, it got a 5-speed manual transmission, and after the minor change, it becomes the 6-speed manual transmission. And automatic transmission is also comes to the 5-speed automatic transmission, replace the 4-speed automatic transmission. So the oil consumption and acceleration is got better than before minor change. Okay, but this car actually it got aged because it is minor change, but there's no problem because this car is handsome. This car got very good sale no matter at the very first and at the very last, because this car is handsome. People like to buy this car. And here we see now this car is my bad friend's car. He just bought it maybe 1 or 2 months ago. This car is the most valuable Mazda 6 in very first generation in Taiwan, because it is the final addition for the Mazda 6 hatchback. This car is standard for MAZDASPEED Aero Kit. It got the front air dam, side skirt, rear air dam, rear wing wipers, as well as the black with red interior. Very handsome, and this car got very expensive price at that. When it's a new car, it takes close to $1 million Taiwan dollars, but that's not important because people like this car. So this car sold still very well, and it got MAZDASPEED Aero Kit. So this car is easy to tune up. Maybe you want to tune the engine with the MAZDASPEED MPS engine or the more exaggerated exterior as well. So this car got a very good second-hand value till now. Actually, the Mazda 6, the first generation Mazda 6 sedan, got a lot of them got to go to the back broken car yard, but not this MAZDASPEED 6 hatchback. This car is still very popular for the young men now, and that's why my best friend bought this car and got very good condition. I like this car as well. So this car got very handsome, but the second generation Mazda 6 got some problem because I think the second generation Mazda 6 is also handsome, but not as well as the first generation. So now we see a lot of second generation Mazda 6 comes to the broken car yard now in Taiwan, but this first generation Mazda 6 hatchback still got certain second-hand value now. That's very interesting. Okay, the interior for this car certainly is MAZDASPEED and it's Mazda 6, so it got a very different from those Japanese rivals such like Nissan Safiro, Nissan Tiana, or Toyota Camry or Mitsubishi Galant. If we saw the car such like what we say, the Toyota Camry, Nissan Safiro, Nissan Tiana, we can see a lot of beige interior or a woody trim, but there is not in this Mazda 6. It didn't get the woody trim at all. Okay, it got a very sporty interior, and certainly this car's platform comes from the Ford CD platform. So this car driving just like a European car, and certainly this 2.3 MZR engine tuned just like the European car. So it got a very sharp chassis with a good performance brought by the engine. It's just driving just like a European car, and certainly because it is a Japanese car, so it got a very good quality and got a very cheap in the accessory. Certainly here in Taiwan we got another shortcut for this accessory parts, because the China mainland got produced this car at FAO Mazda, 一汽马自达, so that we can bought the very cheap parts from the China mainland to maintain this car. Although this car in Taiwan is imported car, but not very hard, not very costly when maintained. So people like to drive this car, especially the young people. No matter they got a lot of optional kit from Japan or from China mainland, you got a very many choice to purchase, to get tuned up, to get your personal Mazda 6. Okay, this is today we showing about this MAZDASPEED Mazda 6 hatchback. And I'm so thanks for my best friend, because he just bought this car not many, just this year. Okay, just 1 or 2 months ago, and he is very good to get this car for me to take this video to show you the story for the Mazda 6. I'm Celsius. Thanks for your watching, and hope to see you again soon with some interesting car again. See you again. Bye bye.